It's time to get on video, develop your communication, develop your presence, your credibility and visibility, because video is here and it is here to stay. And today you're going to be learning from someone who has mastered this. He's got over 153,000 YouTube followers. The man of the hour is the legend that is Jordan Farley. Are you with us, Jordan? There you are, sir.
I am
Good
here.
to have you on the Big Friday Finish.
Thank you.
Wow.
Nice to be here.
153,000 followers. That is big time. Well, look, we've got a good interview lined up for you here. We're going to be talking about video. We're going to be talking about communication. We're going to be talking about specifically about YouTube and then the wider implications on other social channels as well. So we've got a number of questions for you. The first area that we're going to cover is that on video. So why is video so important right now, in your opinion?
Video is just such a powerful tool to teach others and to show what you do and to get yourself out there. You know, nowadays, particularly with YouTube, people go on the internet to learn how to do things, to find new products, services, and they don't just look for pictures, they look for video, because video just it's so much more powerful than anything else.
I got told that, you know, YouTube is the biggest how-to manual in the world. You know, when something breaks in your house, you're like, how do I go and fix the taps?
Yeah.
And everyone does that, don't they? It's like, how to do this, how to do that. So there you go. So a number of questions that we do get asked, Jordan, is, all right, if I'm going to start making videos, I'm going to need a lot of equipment. Is that true or what?
You don't, not to start with. I mean, I started with my mobile phone in my hand, like this, selfie mode, talking to my mobile phone, showing people what I was up to at work and just trying to share a few tips and tricks with people. And it grew from there. So we've all got basically a mobile recording studio in our pockets these days. Use it, you know, leverage the power of that tech that you've got in your pocket.
Yeah, you know, in the equipment terms, you know, you what you just said there, you know, mobile phone in hand, but then you start seeing people and they start progressing, don't they? They get the next thing, one of those little handheld sticks, and then they're walking around with a gimbal. They're called gimbals, these things, yeah. Keeping it nice and still. That's what the professionals use, is it?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone all the way where we've got a professional cameraman who follows me around and stuff. That's the next, you know, probably sort of top level. But I mean, you know, you can get yourself. So this is my camera that I use when I'm vlogging stuff myself. Right. You know, you can pick one of those up and you can do that in sort of selfie mode and vlog, you know, your day-to-day life or whatever. You don't need a cameraman to hold the camera for you. With autofocus and stabilization, all the things that are built into these cameras now, you know, you can basically hold a big camera and show what you're doing and show what you're up to.
You know what? Some mobile phones are even like that now as well, aren't they? Like the new iPhone is like, it's got its stabilization and correction all built in, hasn't it?
Yeah, the iPhones are amazing. You know, the cameras that are in them are phenomenal and they do all the hard work for you, really. So if you've got a decent iPhone, that's all you need, especially when you're starting up, because content is king as well at the end of the day. So it's not always about the quality. It's about what you're showing, what you're talking about in the video that really matters.
Did you get that, folks? Content is king. Do be taking notes here. Do share your comments in the comment box as well. Let's talk about another. Look, we're starting nice and easy today because a lot of questions get asked here about how do we edit the videos. You know, what's your first comment around this?
Again, you can learn on YouTube how to edit videos. You know, I started out very simple, editing my own videos on iMovie, which is just the free app that comes if you've got a Mac. And that's how it started. And then you can level up accordingly. Or nowadays, with the power of the internet, with platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, you can hire a freelancer to do your editing for you if you find you don't have time to do it yourself. So I started out editing myself. Then I went to a freelancer, found a guy in Ireland who did my editing for a while. And then we brought in our own in-house editor who we have now. But again, it's all about kind of time and budget, really. You don't need to have a massive budget or a huge amount of time. You can do it really well.
I mean, is the take-home message for most businesses to be getting on video here? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the way that all businesses should be moving, is showcasing what they do in some form of video content, whether it be long form content on YouTube or short form content on other platforms like Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, whatever it might be, or just producing some simple videos for your website to show what you do on your website. It is the way forward to really show customers what you do.
You know what? You know, speaking of the editing, one of the funniest things, and the one that gets the most comments when you look on the social platforms is the blooper reels, isn't it? It's like, it's just so funny to watch. I was in a video the other day and someone sent the bloopers through, and it's just like, oh, that is just so funny. They're actually good when you share them out.
Yeah, we started tagging them on right at the end of our videos after the sort of credits. We've got that, and for our viewers who watch every single video, they always look forward. They've sort of figured it out because we didn't officially announce it. They figured out that if they stay right to the end, they get to watch the bloopers, and it's a little bit of a laugh and a bit of behind the scenes.
Ooh, there's a top tip there, isn't there? Get the bloopers at the end. That's a good learning point, actually. Let's just get that one in. You know, get the bloopers at the end of your videos. I'm going to start putting that one in. Now let's confront the elephant. Let's confront a big elephant, because this is true and this exists. There is a lot of fear out there when it comes to making videos. Now, have you ever been scared of making videos? I mean, does that exist in you?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I suppose I'm fairly confident on camera, but there's still moments where you think like, what am I doing here? You know, putting my face all over the internet. And it is a form of public speaking, which, you know, can be quite intimidating at times. So the fear is normal, you know. I mean, fear of public speaking is one of the biggest humankind's biggest fears anyway. It's a little bit different when you're talking to a camera, because it doesn't feel like you're talking to a massive audience, even though you actually potentially are later on. But I'd say that, yeah, people get nervous and they stumble over their words, and they think, oh, I'm just not good enough at speaking to do YouTube. You know, I've had all those feelings myself in the past, and it is something that you do have to kind of get over, really, if you want to do it.
How did you develop yourself then in the whole public speaking realm?
I'm fortunate enough to have had quite a lot of training in public speaking when I was younger, as part of my sort of religious organization that I'm a part of. So that was helpful. But still, you know, doing YouTube is different to sort of talking in front of a congregation of people or whatever. So it's slightly different angle. But again, there's so much content out there on how to become a better public speaker, little things like tips and tricks. So I've studied a lot and learned a lot about public speaking, which has helped me to become more confident.
Out of curiosity, what's the most views that you've had on one of your videos? Do you know that number?
Yeah, we've had one video that's got over 10 million views.
Whoa, what's that video on?
And that is not actually me in the video. It's one of our other electricians. So that was just a little short, YouTube short that blew up and went viral. He was just showing how to strip an armored cable. It's like, you know, just a simple electrician task. But the video, for some reason, went absolutely viral, and it's had over 10 million views.
What was the trick to going viral? Sorry.
You know, you've got to have something that will resonate with people, that they will share out. And I think that's probably the key with that video. There was a few elements to it that made it very watchable, and then made people share it out with others. So yeah, check it out on the channel. If you Google how to strip an armored cable, you'll probably find that little video that Lee did. Very interesting.
10 million views. There you go. All right. So interesting question for you next. What's the worst video you have ever made, and why?
I mean, I've got quite a few, to be honest. Like, some of the videos that I first made when I started the channel were just so bad. I think probably
the worst. Are they still on the channel? Are they still there?
Yeah, you've got to keep that. It's a way of monitoring your progress. If you keep all the rubbish videos that you made in the past, you can look back and see how much you've improved. And they say you've got to make 100 videos before you actually get any good at doing YouTube. So I've got over 400 now, so I'm hopefully getting there. But yeah, if you look right back to the early days, I mean, the first ever video I posted on the channel was literally like a 10-second video of me taking the cover off a light fitting, and it was full of water and it just poured everywhere. And then after that, it was like me unboxing a piece of test equipment, and it was just on my mum's kitchen table, and it was like really rough and ready. But it's you've got to start somewhere. That's the thing.
Yeah, and look, let's see, where you came from. You started this for your business, yeah? And then it's literally turned into its own kind of business, hasn't it? This whole YouTube thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So 10-second video, you're keeping it out there. That's the worst one you've made. All right, so what's the best? It might not be the 10 million one, it might be a different one. What's the best video that you've made and why?
There's one video that we made a few months ago that we really put a lot of planning into, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. It was actually one of our employees leaving, and it was filming his last day of work. And we just decided to make it a really big sort of dramatic, emotional sort of video. So we planned it all out, and we, planned sort of every detail of the shoot, planned the story, planned the music, and it made it a real kind of production, and it did really well in terms of views. But I'm just proud of that video because of how much work we put into planning it and how it all kind of came together to form a really engaging and kind of moving video.
How long was the video?
Probably about 20 minutes or something.
And so that's your favorite one because of the planning, the effort that went into it, but the emotional connection that you got to it.
Yeah, and it was just fun to make as well. That was the thing, because we knew that it was sort of a one-off. We were like, let's do this the absolute best we can do it, and we really brainstormed how to make it great. And it came through, and it was fun to make, and yeah, it just ticked all the boxes really in terms of a video.
Which is a really good sort of learning point there, really, for everyone listening in right now, is the level of preparation that goes into videos. So you're saying that a lot of preparation went into that one. Do you generally put preparation into all of your videos, and what does that even look like?
Yeah, we try. Sometimes it's not easy because we are putting out so much content that you can get so focused on making the content that you don't plan it. And that is a trap, to be honest, because we've realized that when we plan the videos, they turn out so much better than if we just sort of wing it, So we're really trying to focus more on every video that we're going to film, getting together as a team and planning, like, what do we want the video to really be about? What needs to be in it? What's the title going to be? What's the thumbnail going to be? And we find that every time we do that, it results in a much better video than if we just sort of rock up on the day and just kind of go, well, yeah, this is what we're doing, and film it and hope that it all comes together in the moment.
When you start a video, how important is that first 10 seconds of you performing on video and saying your words, what you got to say, in getting it out there? How important is the start?
Absolutely essential, because YouTube works on audience retention. And if you don't capture people's attention in that first 10 seconds and make them want to watch the whole video, you lose the audience straight away. It dips off in those first few seconds, and YouTube sees, okay, he's not holding people's attention. I won't push this video out to loads more people. Whereas if you get that retention, it's key. So we used to start off with this long intro of like, oh, hello, welcome back to the channel. This is what we're doing today, blah, blah, blah. Now we don't do any of that. We just boom, straight into it, something that will capture people's attention. And that has made a big difference to our audience retention.
Let's put you on the spot. Let's do one. You're going to make a video on armored cable or electric fittings or on the jumper that you're wearing. How would you start it then? So what would you come in and go with?
It would be something like, this is the worst jumper that I have ever bought. Let me tell you why.
There you go, team. That's it. That is it. All right. So let's have another one. Tell us about the next video is going to be at the shelves that you've got behind you with your books on. Off you go.
These are the most expensive shelves on the planet.
So you just literally, the video starts, you go bam.
Yeah.
And YouTube likes that, yeah?
Yeah, because people want to know what is the video going to be about, you know? People's time is limited, and you've got to respect your audience's time by telling them what to expect and hooking them in that first line, really, to want to watch what you're going to tell them about, and then reward them by actually doing what you said you were going to do at the start of the video.
Beautiful. Absolutely love it. All right, here's the next one for you. What's the best compliment you've ever received about a video? Tell us that.
There's not sort of one specific one that I can really think of, but in general, when we get compliments about the production quality, that really makes me happy, because I think a lot of people just think, oh, YouTube, it's easy or whatever. They don't realize how much effort goes into actually the production side of things. So when people notice, like, oh wow, I love the way that was edited, or I love, that was an amazing shot, and you know how much work that went into getting that shot, or how much our editor put into making a great edit, it's satisfying, because it makes you think, okay, it's worthwhile because people really notice.
Next question is a little bit of a controversial one. Have you ever been insulted about your videos? Have you ever been insulted about your videos? Just
we get so, you get so much hate. If you put yourself out on social media, you've got to be able to take a lot of hate, because there are so many keyboard warriors out there. So yeah, lots of insults. I try not to focus on them, but yeah, it can be hard sometimes.
How do you get over that then?
Yeah, you just got to develop thick skin, really, and focus on the large percentage of people who do like your videos and do comment. I mean, the thing about it is it can be so easy to zoom in and focus on the one or two negative comments, and then not, see all the great ones. So I just try to take it with a pinch of salt. Usually it's keyboard warriors. Sometimes people have genuine things that they're like, they pick us up on, and they're like, you shouldn't.
Factually incorrect things. Is that what you're talking about?
Actually incorrect, or we're showing our work at the end of the day, and we're not perfect. We're not, perfect electricians. So sometimes we do make mistakes, and people notice in the videos, and they pick us up on it, or they tell us some way in which we could have done the job better or differently, which is great. Constructive criticism is always appreciated, because we learn from it and we grow and we benefit. When it's just pure negativity and hate, then that is a different matter, and you just got to let it all wash over you, really.
Have you ever been insulted, but you've been proud of getting that insult for any reasons?
I mean, somebody said I look like Piers Morgan one time, so he's not a bad-looking chap,
Yeah, and you've got this respectful demeanor about yourself. I don't know whether that's right or wrong about Piers Morgan, but let's let him comment on that on here. There you go. So, folks, do you think that Mr. Farley looks like Piers Morgan? Let's have a vote. Get it in the comments. Let's do it now. All right. So, have a look at this for a quote then. No matter what you do, your job is to tell a story. That's Gary Vaynerchuk. No matter what you do on video, your job is to tell a story. Is that true? What's your opinion on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps if you tell a story. I think, with YouTube, some videos are very factual and informational. People just look for them to find out the answer to something or how to do something. Whether you tell a story or not in those videos might not be so important. But when you're trying to entertain people, then you need a story. And what we find is that even with our normal, we're just filming electrical work. If we throw in a story there, like what was the worst electric shock you've ever had, or what was the worst customer that you've ever had, those kind of stories really resonate with people, and then they respond in the comments with what was their worst, and you get this sort of engagement happening. I think stories reach the heart, and in order to create engaging videos, you do have to reach people's hearts.
Have a go at that then. Give us that story of where you bought this jumper from and tell us why it's the best or worst one that you've ever bought. So come on, entertain us with a story here. Just get the creative juices flowing.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah. Well, look, you're the video man. You've got 153,000 followers here. I'm just giving you a bit of extra time by just
okay. So let me tell you a secret, right? I was walking down the street the other day and this old homeless man came up to me and he said, I've got something that will change your life. And I said, what's that? He said, I've just seen David Beckham go into that charity shop with a bag full of jumpers. And he said, I think that if you go in there right now, you can pick up one of David Beckham's jumpers for a couple of quid. So I went in there thinking, fantastic, let's get myself a good deal here. So I walked into the charity shop and I found this jumper, which I was convinced was one of David Beckham's jumpers. However, when I got out, having spent my £2 on the jumper, I realised that the old homeless man was just pulling my leg, and it was actually just a rubbish jumper.
There you go, Steve. I love it. You got me. You threw a big name in there. That was entertaining, folks. We put you on the spot. You passed with flying colours. We're gonna keep putting you on the spot. Use your comments, folks. Did you rate that one? Was it a 10 out of 10? Was it a 5 out of 10? What was it, Tim? All right, let's see what else we've got. Here's another quote. Oh, it's not a quote, is it? This is just a point. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's the video worth? What's your point on that?
1,000,000 words at least. It's just like, video is basically thousands and thousands of pictures strung together, and if you think about YouTube algorithm, one thing that somebody taught me once, which I was amazed by, is that YouTube algorithm analyzes every single frame of the video, and the AI tags every single item. So right now,
really?
The AI, if we were on YouTube, it would be tagging all the books that are behind me, the lamp, the curtains, the radiator, the printer, me, what my face looks like, the fact that I've got a beard, blah, 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 everything will be tagged, and that our brains are doing that in the background when we're watching video. We can learn so much from a video that you can't learn just from a picture, and you can portray emotion, you can tell a story, like we've said. You can't really do that with a picture. So yeah, video definitely worth 1 billion words.
Well, look, that's the first bit that we've touched on video, which is the whole essence of this session anyway, and the importance of it. So we're going to move on to the next section now. We're talking about communication next. So communication, why is communication so important on video, and what you're communicating?
And you want to be clear. So if you don't communicate clearly with your audience, they won't really understand what you're on about, and they'll lose interest, they'll switch off. So being able to clearly communicate your point across in a video is very important. Yeah.
Well, look, let's make a list here, because let's have a list of the must nots in communication when you're on video. I'm guessing that you've got some must nots.
Yeah, I mean, stuff that winds me up is people who swear all the time.
Yep.
That kind of, I think if you do that, okay, you might resonate with certain people in the audience, but you probably isolate half of your audience at least who won't want to put up with it. And also for, marketing your services or whatever, it doesn't.
Have you ever trialed a swear word, sort of a tactical swear word in your videos? Have you ever trialed any or not?
No, definitely not. No, I might have let one slip accidentally if I hit myself with a hammer or something once, but I definitely have not tactically implemented any swear words in the videos.
You're too much of a nice gentleman, hey? There you go. So no swear words. Actually, it resonates with me. I always notice, when someone swears. All right. So that's a must not. I'm on your page with that one. What else is a must not on video when you're communicating?
Don't just talk about yourself all the time and kind of, some people, they just seem to love the sound of their own voice and just love talking about, I did this, me, this. People get a bit sick of that. So you need to be thinking about your audience when you're talking to them, and think about what do they want out of the video. At the end of the day, you're making the videos to help other people, whether it's to help them learn something or whether it's to help them find your product or service. It's still to help them. So the videos should not just be about you.
All right, so no swearing. Let's not make this about you. Remember, this is about them, folks. What else? What else is on the must not list?
I mean, I think there's this tendency, like, people can say stuff that's really controversial, and then get in trouble for it later. Remember that whatever you say on video and you put out there on the internet is potentially going to be there forever. You know, even if you delete it, somebody somewhere might have saved it. And so don't do or say anything that you might regret in 20 years time when it comes back again to bite you. And that can apply, because when you start, you think, oh, there's only a few people watching, it really doesn't matter what I say. But as you grow, you get more and more people watching. They can still find those old videos that you've made. So it's, just be very careful to not put anything out there that you might later regret, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that comes down to your preparation point earlier on. I mean, let's just consider this for a second. And because I'm guessing that some people out there will jump straight in, let's go and do a load of videos and let's just get them out there with not considering that. Is there anything else that you must not do there? Any other must nots when you're making video and you're communicating?
Don't slag anyone off.
Be very aware, yes. So we've
not by name anyway. Like we've
complimented Piers Morgan today because you've said that it looks like you.
Exactly. Yeah. You can create these kind of wars. You see these social media wars where people just slagging each other off in videos. It's just not the way to do it. If you're going to say something about other people, either say it anonymously like so and so, but I'm not going to say who it is, or if you say something nice, then you can name them, obviously.
Yeah, look, really like your points. All those points are very valuable, and I'm look. By the way, viewers, Jordan did not know these questions. That's why he's thinking on the spot here. All right, let's go the opposite way. What are the must-dos when you're on video, when you're communicating? This is the must. Is there a list of things that you've got to be ready? You've got to be prepared. This is your list.
Yeah. Smile. Speak slowly and clearly so that people can understand what you're saying. Because especially with YouTube, it's available to people all over the world. You might get viewers who are watching your videos who English is not their first language. So you want to be able to speak slowly enough and clearly enough that they can understand what you're saying, and that the YouTube clever stuff can decipher your words and write it all down on text on screen as well. Explain things in depth enough to sort of answer people's questions, but not too in depth that you just bore them. And balance, don't use too many I should have said in the not do section, but too many like acronyms where people like, what is that? Like, I do still fall into that trap sometimes. I say like, oh, today we're doing an EICR, we're going to put these CTs around this thing. Like, people are like, what's an EICR? What are CTs? Because I'm sort of thinking I'm talking to electricians, but actually a lot of people who are watching our videos are not electricians. They want to know, what does that mean? So yeah, try and explain to somebody, to your audience, as if they don't know anything about the subject that you're talking about, and you'll kind of explain it in a simple way. Yeah, look, that whole balance point of depth and detail without boring them, but enough to answer the question what you'd said. Your first point, smile. And there is a warmth, isn't there, that can radiate through a camera. Yeah. And that's what you want to capture, I'm guessing, when you're going out there on a video. Yeah, definitely. I mean, your personality is reflected in the content that you create. So I like to think that I'm a fairly happy, smiley person. But when you're a bit nervous and you're looking at camera, sometimes you can just be like... It can be serious. So just before you start, take a deep breath, smile, and then start the video. It helps.
Yeah, it was really good advice, that, by the way. You know, just take a deep breath, smile, and go. Just relax. All right. So, what I'd seen actually on this, I've seen people, you know, get the little post-it notes and draw a little smiley face, and I've seen them just put it under the camera here,
Yeah.
just to remind you. Actually, it's a really good reminder, isn't it, when you're looking at a camera, that got to smile at it. You've got to smile at the camera. And because there's a smiley face there, it just reminds you to do that. Have you ever done that?
Not with a literal post-it note, but I do that with my team. So the team that answer the phones in our company, we do the whole post-it note, or just smile, write somewhere, smile before they answer the phone, smile, because it comes across in your voice as well when you're smiling. Even if customers can't see your face, they can feel it in your voice if you've got a smile and when you answer the phone.
Yeah, there is. It does change how you behave, how you interact, how you feel, doesn't it? And you can't fake a smile. That's what they reckon. You can't fake a smile or force a smile. It's we did a big Friday finish actually not so long ago, and this lady, so this probably feels a bit off tangent right now. It's a good point, by the way. So God knows how I'll make it relevant to this. But she said she learned from a gentleman named Chris Voss on negotiation. She said, you cannot be angry and curious at the same time, and you can't be sad and curious at the same time. So out of those emotions, you probably want to be curious. And I think there's what I was saying there about you can't fake a smile. It's like you've got to genuinely be relaxed and happy with that smile at the same time, haven't you?
Yeah, and smiling is infectious, so I just think if you're going to watch a YouTube video, you want to watch one that makes you feel good afterwards.
Well,
There's enough bad news in the world, so let's make our content happy, smiley content. And if we
what's happening now, so everyone watching this, put it in the comments box now, team. Everyone's looking at how much we're smiling, by the way, right now. So
I know we have to now. I have to now. I've said it, don't I?
I'm very aware of what's going on right now. Extra smiles coming your way just for you. It's all love. All right, let's have a look at this. So this is Jim Rohn. Effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. True or false? I was going to say true or true there. True or false?
Yeah, I think it's true, because knowledge is one thing, but what you do with that knowledge actually affects your life. So you can know stuff, but if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't affect your life, and then you don't really benefit from it. Generally, if I'm sharing something on our YouTube channel, it's because it's knowledge, but it's knowledge that I've applied in my life and it's benefited me, and then therefore I want to share it with others. So obviously I feel good about it because it's made my life better. So whether it's like, oh, I discovered this amazing tool, guys, it's going to save you so much time and energy, I feel really good about this tool, I want to share it with you. That is 80%. Other than this tool does this, no emotion, no feeling. It doesn't come across in the same way, so people don't care what you know until they know that you care. That's a good little line that somebody said to me once, and it's so true.
I like the lines that they flip itself over type thing. It kind of resonates. Are you running the day, or is the day running you?
Ooh, nice. I like that one. Yeah.
It's nice that so people say yours again. People don't know how much you care.
People don't care. No, people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Right. There you go. That's it. And have you heard of this before? The impact of communication. So, of course, I've done the research on this, and there's going to be people that's going to go out there and look at this afterwards. There's a principle called 7, 38, and 55, which is the impact of your communication. So 7% of the impact of your communication is in the words you use. 38% of the impact is in how you're saying the words, and 55% is in your body language.
Yeah.
Have you been trained on that? Do you believe that? I mean, what's your opinion on any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the way that you say something is more powerful than what you say. And that's clearly illustrated when you can watch, say, if you've been on holiday and watching, foreign TV shows, and you don't know what they're saying, but you can tell that they're really passionate about it. Whether it's they're angry or they're enthusiastic and happy, whatever it is, you get that vibe, and you can almost tell what they're talking about based on all that stuff, like the tone of voice, the body language, the gestures, etc.
Who's helped you most then in communication? Where have you learned how to communicate so effectively on video?
Watching lots of other YouTubers has definitely helped.
Do you do a lot of that? Do you do a lot of research? Do you do a lot of learning in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Later on, I'm going to ask you something about books later on.
Yeah, I think that when you become a YouTuber, you do sort of become obsessed with YouTube and everything surrounding it. So I've personally done a lot of research about how to improve in various areas. I think the more you invest in yourself in terms of training, the better you benefit in the long run.
Are you a family man?
I've just got a wife, no kids yet. I'm not.
And what does your wife make of your YouTube videos? Does she watch them? Does she comment on them? Does she criticize?
And she goes through phases. So she'll go through phases where she'll watch them for a while, and then she'll get a bit sick of it and just not watch any for a while. But she's very good at actually critiquing me about stuff. I think that's a really important thing to say, is have somebody close to you who can give you really brutally honest feedback about the content that you're creating, and the way that you're presenting yourself. So I'll sometimes watch videos with her and I'll really be cringing because I know what she's thinking. I'm like, why is your collar up like that? Why did you not look in the mirror before you started speaking to the camera? Or just little things like what we call word whiskers, like typical habits that you say, words that you say subconsciously without sort of realizing you say over and over again, little things like that you sort of pick up on. So yeah, she's great because she actually helps us to level up our content a lot by being like a sort of a neutral audience person who can really critique everything for us.
Open, honest feedback. All right, let's move on to the next. Let's talk YouTube. Yeah, let's move on to the next section here. So 153,000 subscribers now. How many years in the making has that been, by the way?
So it is, what are we now, 2022? 6 years.
Wow.
Since I started the channel. How many years have I really been working hard on it? Probably 4 years, 3-4 years. So yeah, it takes a long time. That's the thing. People just see the numbers, but they don't realize how much work goes into it. And I think, how have you mastered this? It is just pure graft, basically. Just keep plugging away persistently, consistently putting out content and trying to improve so that every video that you make is better than the last one.
Yeah, and really a really well-known marketer is someone called Seth Godin, and when he started out in marketing, he was writing 5 blog articles before 8 a.m. every day, literally every day, and that was his warm-up for writing his books. And he did that weekends, holidays, Christmas Day. It was that level of consistency. So has that been part of you mastering what you're doing, the level of consistency around the videos?
Yeah, I mean, I think I started off posting like 1 video a week, and then went up to 2 videos a week, and then 3 videos a week. We've recently gone back to 2. But yeah, having that consistency and making yourself kind of accountable to regularly put out content is important.
Talk us through that timeline then. So you've had 4 or somewhere between 4 and 6 years of really driving it forward. So now, we know we're at November 2022, you're at 153,000. So talk us through the journey of how that's progressed.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to get my stats up. Let me just get my stats and have a quick look. So in terms of my views and stuff, I mean, So 2016, I started the channel, I started the business, I started both at the same time, but it was never really a thing. I wasn't gonna like setting out to become a YouTuber or anything like that. I just made a few videos here and there to show some of the jobs that I was doing, and that was it pretty much. So I'm looking through my timeline now. That's why I'm just looking down at the screen. So 2017, 2018, not that much happened with it. It was really actually 2019 where I really started to take it more seriously. So beginning of 2019. So it's like it's sort of 3.5 coming up to 4 years that I've been really taking it seriously. And then that's where it really started to pick up. Once I started to put out regular content, which was probably beginning of 2019, maybe end of 2018, beginning of 2019, started regularly putting out videos. That's where it started to grow.
Is that the secret to getting subscribers? Is it regularity and consistency?
Definitely. Yeah.
What else? What else is the secret?
Finding a subject that you know people will be interested in, so making content that resonates with an audience. And for me, that was quite niche. It's, electrical work. So you kind of think, how many people out there are going to be interested in watching an electrician? But what I realized is I just put a few videos out of jobs, and then other electricians started to watch them at the start, and they were like, oh, that's interesting to see how somebody else does stuff. And then as it grew, you sort of get this community. It's very niche. Lots of electricians watching the videos, giving you feedback. Oh, can you make a video about this? Lots of people learning from your videos, maybe apprentices and things like that. And then it grew even more to the point where now customers were finding my videos because they were doing research about trying to find a good electrician. And it sort of, the niche slowly grows and grows to a bigger and bigger audience.
Yeah, so look, some people that's going to be watching this are going to be thinking of creating some YouTube videos. Some are just going to be thinking of creating videos that don't necessarily need to go on YouTube, that could be communicated with the team. So I think this could be applicable for everybody as well, no matter what. Are there any common myths then about YouTube that you think that's actually not true, that people believe?
I think the first one is just like, oh, it's really easy, just make a few YouTube videos and become a millionaire. And it's not like that at all. Like I say, it takes a lot of consistent effort and hard work. But it does pay off in the long run. It is worth the investment if you keep plugging away at it.
All right. So it is hard work. It is consistency. So just talk us through, I mean, what is the bit of hard work for you? Is it the preparation? Is it the delivery? Is it the editing? Do you do edits, or do you do like, because this is no edits. People, we don't do edits on this. This is just going out.
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge amount of editing involved. So our videos typically will document a whole day's work. So the cameraman will be on site from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., maybe even longer, with the guys or with myself, following us as we do the job. And then that, although he's not filming constantly, so it's not like 8 hours of footage, he might get 3 or 4 hours of footage, which then has to be edited down into about a 20 to 30 minute video, Right. So the editing, like one video like that will take a whole day to edit as well. So yeah, that just to give you sort of an idea of the amount of work that's involved. I don't edit them anymore because I don't have time, and because the videos generate enough income, I can afford to pay an editor to do them. So it's fine. But if you're having to edit yourself, you can imagine how much work is involved on top of just doing your day job. Imagine I'm doing my day job, I'm filming myself while I'm doing it, then I'm going home. This is what I was doing, going home, editing after work until midnight or whatever to get a video ready to then put out the next day or whatever, and then trying to keep on top of all the other stuff involved, advertising, posting it out, advertising it, social media, trying to get sponsors and stuff as the channel grows. There's lots of stuff involved.
And are there any little quick bits of advice that you've got for anyone who wants to start making YouTube videos? Any quick bits of advice?
Yeah, just start. Like, if you're thinking about it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? People just don't start because they don't think they're ready. But the thing is, you will never be ready. You've got to learn by doing. And which is why it comes back to what I said earlier about you need to make 100 videos before you kind of get any good at making videos. You learn by doing, and each video you learn something from it, and
Should you do your 100 before you jump on YouTube? Should you do your 100?
No, because you get even more feedback. I think that's the thing. You get more feedback from YouTube than you ever would if you were just making videos and not, imagine you're putting it out to an audience of thousands of critics who can teach you what you can do to improve. And you've got the YouTube algorithm and how it reacts to the video. You can see the retention spikes and stuff. You can learn so much about improving that next time.
So that's on the back end that you look at your analytics, how long people are watching, on all that kind of thing. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And what about any advice if someone wants to become an absolute expert like you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, because there is so much to learn. That's the thing. So I'm constantly learning still, and I don't think I'll ever be an expert, because there's always going to be more to learn, and the YouTube algorithm's always going to be changing and growing. But I think the thing is, again, with anything, if you want to become an expert at anything, what is the first step? Start doing it, start learning about it and then start doing it. So that has always been my motto in life, is learning by doing. Whether it's an electrical skill that I've got now, for example, electric vehicle charging points. Like 3 years ago, electric vehicles were just sort of starting to become popular, and I was like, right, I want to become an expert at electric vehicle charging points. What do I do? Do a course and then start installing them and learn as I go along. And now I feel pretty good about installing electric vehicle charging points, and probably people would say that our channel is one of the known experts in the field now. But that's just started with me learning as I went along, and eventually you get to the point where you're kind of an expert.
There you go, folks. We've got one more area to cover here, and we're going to go further wide now. Social platforms. What's the importance of other social platforms, either being connected with your video platforms or independent of? What's your opinion on that matter?
Yeah, I mean, we take them all very seriously. YouTube is our sort of number one, but all of the others, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, they all feed back into YouTube as well. So we promote our YouTube videos across all the other platforms, and then that brings more views to YouTube. But they've also got benefits in and of themselves, So Instagram's really good for taking pictures of your work and showing it. Also, posting short videos like Instagram Reels, which can then help you reach a larger audience. TikTok is similar, and TikTok's great because it's sort of reaching a real younger audience who is sort of, maybe the apprentices and things like that for us, who then can discover our YouTube channel because they found us on TikTok. So it's different platforms reach different people, I would say.
So you create your own Instagram Reels as well, which you're housed on Instagram. You create your own TikTok Reels or video clips that are housed there. Your YouTube ones in Facebook, in LinkedIn, do you link them to YouTube, or do you leave them on LinkedIn or Facebook as their independent videos?
No, we don't upload them separately to LinkedIn or Facebook. We just upload them to YouTube and then share them on those various platforms. Because for us, YouTube is where we want everyone to be. Ultimately, we get the most benefits from people watching our videos on YouTube. So we'd rather share it on the other platforms and then bring people into YouTube, and then hope that they'll start regularly watching our videos on YouTube.
Subscribe. How do you get them to subscribe then?
Just tell them to subscribe. That's the funny thing. Is like, why do you always hear when you're watching YouTube videos, make sure you like and subscribe? It's because if you don't tell people, they'll forget and they won't do it, or they maybe don't know that it's free to subscribe.
You say that every time after that first 10 seconds. I was walking down the street and this gentleman walked up to me and says, "You know what? David Beckham's just taking 10 jumpers in there. You want to get one of them?" Like and subscribe the channel now, team. When do you do it? Do you do it after you've grabbed their attention, and then do you do it? Come on.
Just at any appropriate moment. I usually try and do it in the intro. Right. And then people immediately hit the like button, hit subscribe if they haven't done so already. Great. But then later on in the video as well, I might do something a little bit funny or entertaining, and then I'll be like, oh, make sure you like and subscribe to see more. Or at the end of the video, oh, if you'd like to see more content like this, or if you'd like to see a follow-up video from this project, make sure you like and subscribe so that you can see the next one.
Well, it's never too late, is it? So like and subscribe right now whilst you're watching this. You know, just take the opportunity there, and next time I'll do it in the intro, just like you said. Thank you very much, sir. All right, here's another question. Social media, then. You know, is it still socializing? Is it actually social, or is it marketing? I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on that. How social have you got to be on social media? Because a lot of platforms now are not that social.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, because obviously businesses use social media platforms to market their products and services. That's what it comes down to. But there is a social element to all of these, otherwise people wouldn't go on there in the first place. So it's about getting the right balance between the two. And for us, that's about making it social by making it personable as much as possible. You know, otherwise people would just watch adverts all day. Like, why do people not just sit and watch adverts all day? It's because they're social creatures. They want to watch people, and they want to engage with people, not just with products. But if they find out about products as part of that process, that is the golden kind of, you know, that's the, what do they call it? That is the that is the thing.
It's the big thing. That's the big thing, folks.
That is the perfect, the sweet spot, you know, where you want to be is to reach people with your products and services using social media in a way that they don't feel like they're just watching an advert.
And are there any secrets there? Is there any secrets that you can share?
Yeah, just be genuine. You know, that's the thing. You've got to be genuine. And as soon as you kind of sell out by trying to promote something that you don't really believe in, that's when you lose it, you know. So I'm always very careful, because we do get so many people approaching us now because of the size of our audience, saying, oh, can you show this off on the channel, or can you mention this or whatever, and you know, offering serious amounts of money to do those kind of things. I will only ever promote something on the channel that I would genuinely promote, even if I was not being paid to do it. That's my sort of rule. So if I genuinely believe it's great and I would use it, or I do use it anyway, and somebody wants to pay me to promote it on the channel, great, that's a no-brainer. But if I'm just saying it but I don't really believe it, as soon as I do that, my audience knows that I've lost my integrity, and then they will feel like they're just watching an advert every time they watch my videos.
Like we did on the, you know, not to do and what to do on the videos. Let's just see if you've got any final tips on this. Social media platforms, what not to do. Is there any not to do? Is it that selling out that you've already mentioned? Lack of integrity?
Yeah, there's that. And there's also, I think, just don't write. The danger with the other social media platforms, even more so than YouTube, I think, is if you do get some negativity, don't rise to the bait. Like, I've seen people where they've been, you know, even heads of large companies and stuff like that, who've got trolled, and then they've risen to the bait and said or done something on social media that they've later regretted because it made them look really bad. Because they're human, and their emotions have been touched by this person who really wound them up, and they've had a bit of a meltdown, and you can't, you know, that can ruin your business's reputation. So how you act on social media is really, you know, reflects massively on your business. So I would say just be really careful to not, again, don't post anything that you would later regret.
And anything to absolutely make sure that you do nail, if you're going to be using social media platforms, get this done.
Yeah, be responsive. Like, respond to people's comments, respond to people's messages. I know it takes time, but people will appreciate that, and then they'll keep coming back to you for, you know, to watch more or to engage more with the content that you put out.
Yeah, I do get a lot of that on like LinkedIn, Facebook. When someone comments, you can see that people comment back. Do you do that on your YouTube videos? If someone comments, do you comment back on their comments and just interact with them?
Yeah, we try to. Yeah, so I mean, it's quite difficult when you're sort of getting like 2 million views a month and then like thousands and thousands of comments a month. It's hard to respond to everyone. We've got a social media manager now who responds to as many as he can. I personally go on there still and respond to ones that I feel particularly are important to respond to. But yeah, it is hard, but it's important to do, I think, to engage with your audience. And again, it's like, that's what takes it from being just marketing to being social media, because it's about that interaction with your audience and finding out what they want. So if you are a brand and trying to promote your products, you can find so much free information about what your prospective clients want by just reading the comments.
Well, look, we've got 4 minutes to go. I've got one more question for you. You know what this one is because I asked you to prepare this one in advance. And just before I ask you that question, let's start getting your biggest learning points from this session. Please do get them shared. Do comment on that. And now the reason, folks, I'm asking you this question is so that it increases the likelihood of you doing something with this. So share it into existence. Share the world, your learning points, your action points, what you're going to do off the back of what Mr. Farley has taught us this afternoon. And whilst you're putting those action points and learning points in, I'm going to ask you one last question, which is, we always get asked this. So this is a really specific kind of session we've had on video and social media influencing. So what are the 3 books that you'd recommend to read on video and communication? Why?
So I've got them here prepared. This one, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, is a fantastic little book, quite short and big writing, so easy and quick to get through, but it's super inspirational. And it's basically start showing people what you do, like
it's called Show Your Work, and it's by who?
Show Your Work by Austin Kleon.
Yeah, it looks brilliant.
Yeah. So it's all about just video. Yeah, basically is one of the ways. Other ways to do it as well, obviously, but show people what you do and the amazing benefits that you can find when you start to do that.
All right, so that's one of the key books and to read on this subject matter. Have you got another one?
Yeah, this one, Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon.
Yes.
So this is all about creating like a really powerful brand, and how big companies do it, how they create movements almost that people are absolutely obsessed with their products. It's about branding that really reaches your audience and resonates with them. And again, I think video is a huge part of being able to do that, certainly for us. So this book is really quite inspiring about creating a really powerful brand.
Did you use a lot of the stuff out of that to really sort of shape how your YouTube channel evolved?
Yeah, definitely some ideas that kind of formed some inspiration about our own brand that we're trying to build, and how to kind of resonate with people and create zealots for your brand, who become your brand ambassadors, make customers your biggest fans. That's kind of what we've got. We have customers now, we turn up and they know exactly what snacks the guys want to eat because they've been watching all the videos. They tell us about how much they love our videos that they've watched, and they buy specific products and services from us because they've seen them on the videos, and they're like, "Oh, I really like the way you do this, so I decided to contact you because I wanted this." And our customers become our biggest fans, which is, if you can do that, you've created a great brand.
All right, that's the second book. And the third book?
This one is the One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb. And again, like, one of the big focuses in this is creating video, which is free. You can create YouTube videos for free and then put them on the internet, and people will eventually go to you as an expert in your field and will want to buy your product and service because they know, like, and trust you. And that's what it's kind of saying in the book, really, is get people to know, like, and trust you, which is the key to be able to sell something to people, by creating videos that show what you do and why you know what you're talking about.
Well, Mr. Farley, it's been fascinating. There's been some real top takeaways there on videos. I'm guessing that all of you have been inspired to actually go out and start making some videos and take it to the next level. On behalf of everybody, thank you very much. See you next week. Bye for now.